This presentation is brought to you by Smoooth Productions.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Smoooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. I do apologize for the tad bit later start time in regards to going live this evening, but hey, life happens. But we are here, and it's a blessing to hold things down, doing what I love, doing my ministry, and providing some smooth conversations for the next, maybe 2 hours or so. And for those who don't know about Smoooth Conversations, I've been doing this show since last year. Very first guest I had was the one, the only, and let me make sure y'all can hear me. There we go. I apologize. Y'all can hear me for a quick second there. But yes, once again, I am smooth conversations where the conversations are always smooth. Sorry for once again the late start. And you're like, I can't hear what you're saying. My bad, the transmitter wasn't on. But once again, Smoooth Conversations. Thanks for tuning in. For those who wondering about, once again, Smoooth Conversations, I've been doing this show since July last year with the one, the only guy Torrey in the place to be. And ever since that show went down, this show has gone up, and this has been so amazing. And you can also, for those watching, thank you very much. Make sure y'all go ahead and spread the word about this show because it's all on social media, but definitely go on YouTube. I need y'all to hold me down. Go on YouTube, subscribe, and click on that bell. Smoooth Conversations. That is, once again, smooth with 3 O's. So make sure y'all show love there. And also, we on this show is on KBDR Beat District Radio. All new, been started up since March of this year, and this has been an amazing journey so far, being a part of this wonderful, wonderful crew. You can go to the website, beatdistrictradio.com, or go to the App Store, KBDR Beat District Radio, no matter if it's on Google Play or the App Store, and you'll hear crystal clear, high definition. When I say we sound good, we sound good. Shouts out to the Beat District Radio family. So many great shows that we have every day of the week. So many different genres. We just show love, man. And as I said on last week's show with Jason Little, only station, black-owned station, holding things down in the heart of Ferguson that's going globally, bro. So not just here in the Loop, but globally. And we're doing big things right now. So show love to everything related to Smoooth Conversations and to Beat District Radio. So now, once again, to the reason why you are all tuned in tonight, get them likes, get them shares going right now, because for the first time in Smoooth Conversation history, have a returning guest, and it's truly an honor. When this brother came to me on his own, hey, Smoooth, I want to get back on the show and talk some more and give my viewpoint on a few things. I'm like, well, who am I to tell this man, no, it ain't happening. We're gonna make it happen tonight. And as all shows are, it's no script. There's gonna be just 2 men, 2 black men, 2 grown black men, 2 educated grown black men, just having some great conversations. Y'all know him as a rapper, as an activist. He's a leader in the community, a leader amongst men, just a born leader. Shouts out to his record company, Crow Life Records, amazing artist, and he just continues to just set the tone, man, in regards to holding things down. And once again, I know he has some stories to tell and some things to get off his chest. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring in, returning back to Smoooth Conversations. Oh, what's going on with you, brother?
Man,
Good to have you back on the show, man.
Big Smoooth. Appreciate you, man.
Once again, shouts out to you, and we make sure that this camera look good on you. Got to make sure you fresh. One thing here, you got to make sure that he fresh. So just stay right there for a second. Gotta zoom in, do his thing. All right, now we ready to rock and roll. All right, brother. So that's the power of you know what I'm saying, being on live. But you here, and from the bottom of my heart, it means a lot to me for you to reach out and say, "Hey,
thank
I want
you.
to be back on."
Thank you for even having us, man. I think what you're doing is really important. As a black man, as a brother with an independent platform, and a lot of times there's people who do got things going on in the loop. We rush to give the exclusives to these platforms that ain't here, and we really should be locked hand in hand with y'all, helping y'all build y'all stuff out just as well as y'all have been helping us build our platforms, giving us spaces to talk to people. We got to do our part to help stabilize the media that's doing this thing for us as well. So.
Exactly. And as you told me before on the last show, which meant a lot to me, was how you were saying that you've been on something, like you said earlier, you've been on so many different platforms. You've been on the CNNs and you've been on this, you've been on that. But being on Smoooth Conversations, it was a different vibe. You was able to, the trust, and being able to open up, and just continue. Not saying that you wasn't being you on other platforms, but it was something different. So that meant a lot to me, and that was one of those things that not saying I needed to have to hear, but it verified to me and assured me I know that I'm doing the right thing. So once again, I appreciate you, man.
Man, my dog.
Yeah, man.
My dog, man. Hopefully, in my mind, we have for it's all said and done, we'll have an archive of Tef and Smoooth conversations that we could pull from it. That y'all will be able to see the growth in his show, the growth in me. Just no different than other cats who talk to these particular people in the media. And who knows, one day you might see Smoooth interviewing me in Paris or something. We don't know how it's gonna go.
So put it out there.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like I said before, man, I'm just simply just letting God use me and just bringing in people who I see just doing their thing, doing amazing things, and that everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has something to say, and just about getting it out there. So we're gonna go ahead and have a great conversation tonight, man. The last time that we crossed paths, it was an amazing turnout, amazing event that went down. It was remind me, Black Men Build. 50
black men came together to sit down with Tashara Jones, our first ever elected black woman mayor. And we all got to really just have a heart-to-heart conversation with her, listen to other people's perspectives about things. And, man, that was a powerful, powerful, powerful event. You was one of the main brothers I wanted there because of what you're doing with so many avenues of entertainment and media and podcasting and streaming. And the thing I like about how you're doing it, you a grown man doing this stuff.
Right.
Like straight standing on grown man business. And to me, it was just important that you was there, and I was so glad you came. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It was definitely an honor, and it was my first time going. And once again, the group is called Black Men Build.
Yeah, so I started Black Men Build St. Louis. I'm not actually officially with them no more. I've kind of left it to the next generation to do. But I work with different groups from Black Men Build to Action St. Louis to you name it in the field of politics in St. I'm everybody. I'm the Crips, I'm the Bloods, I'm the Woo-Woos, I'm the Doo-Doos. You know what I'm saying? If we black and we trying to have some positive motion, I'm with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And shouts out to, I believe it was Levels Restaurant.
Yep. Shout out Ono.
Amazing venue. If you haven't been there, Nigerian spot.
Yeah.
The food is amazing. The vibe was amazing. And just being able to be this close to Miss Jones, man, and hear everything that she had to say. The men that came out, they were not shy in bringing out the questions. It got passionate. Shouts out to Grease Gutter.
Yeah, it got passionate. Grease Gutter, man. Yeah.
Sometimes black people, we're told rules.
Yeah.
Yes, we do want to obey rules, but sometimes rules are made to be broken.
Right. Sometimes we're gonna go off script.
and it wasn't in a disrespectful way at all.
Yeah.
It was because of a passion and something that was triggering to a lot of black men that we wanted to hear what she wanted to say. Yeah. Because for those who may not know, at the time she was in a race to win again against Kara Spencer. We get to her very soon. And to show her, I think my biggest takeaway, and this will give me your viewpoint as well. My biggest takeaway was that she realized that she messed up in a few areas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all about trying to
Mm-hmm.
bring the trust back
Mm-hmm.
and say, give me one more chance
Mm-hmm.
and let me prove that
Mm-hmm.
I'm a better
Mm-hmm.
candidate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think also what I picked up a lot of that from that too, man. We got to feel the humanity of Miss Jones a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, she from the same place as we from. Her family been through some of the same things we all been through. She got a son. She trying to see it through and make sure that he's successful in life and empower him to do everything that he need to do in this world. But outside of that, she her own person. You know what I'm saying? And she made some decisions to step into leadership, and it's never easy to do that. The community, self included, sometimes will have stuff to say. But what I did like about her is that she was willing. What I do like about her is she is willing to step into the gauntlet with you. You know, she's not scared of nobody. Um, and when you really open it up, she is a real intellectual person, real a thinker. And a lot of times in Black politics, we like that part. You know, like that part where I could see that you think in layers about stuff. And to even have people like Greed's Gutter be able to approach your mayor and say to her what's going on with his kids, what's going on with his family. Uh, for me, that's why people like you and I exist. We are the conduit to make those types of conversations happen, to make those worlds possible for folks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And so now that the dust is settled and we all know where we are at now,
Mm-hmm.
even during that time, just from your point of view, um, did you feel that yes, the meeting was meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
but did you feel that at the end of the day that she still didn't have a chance to succeed?
I mean, here's the thing: we went in it knowing we was swinging at the air from the point that we was at. I've been in politics a long time. It's certain stuff I didn't say at the time because when you're watching the movie, you know, you just got to see it through. When you Tony Starks, you know the Avengers going against Thanos, and you look down and you ask Doctor Who, hey man, what's our win scenario?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And when I asked Doctor Who what was the win scenario, he said it's gonna be slim, player. It's gonna be slim. But for me, what I wanted to play a part in, if we being real, and we are being real, because I ain't said this on no other platform, haven't did no interviews about the scenario, to be honest. We all deserve a proper send off when we in these positions. You know, like L.A. Reid said something about Rick Ross when they was about to try to move him off the label, and he was getting older, and they didn't know what to do with him. And he like, man, do the man not deserve to be treated a certain way for all that he gave us all over all these years when he was making the hits and he was doing this and he was doing this? Y'all had that love for him.
Right.
And now that he at this certain part, you know, should we as a Black business, as a Black entity in the world, not give the man some type of honorable final lap or honorable spin the block with us and let him part ways with us in an honorable way versus a way where it's like, dag, you know, we could have did that a lot better. And I think now that I'm actually an adult, I've been an adult for a long time, but now that I'm an adult with some power, I should say, my job, I feel, is to just do that sometimes. Like, we want to win, but also when we do the math and we look at the scenario and we say we ain't gonna win, well, all our people deserve honorable send-offs, especially when those people come for them and get them out of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, your situation explodes and you become your own thing and it's multi-million-dollar media company, and they say, Smooth, we want to buy your company, man. And you say, no, I'm cool. And they come back and say, we want to buy it again. You say, no, I'm cool. And the third time they say, we want to buy it. You say, look, man, I told you I was cool. And should we not flank you? Should we not protect you? Even though we know that the thing you up against is bigger than you, do we leave you to fight by yourself? Those are the questions I try to not answer for people, but inspire people to answer in themselves through those types of meetings.
Yeah,
You know
find it within yourself or find it out on your own. So I feel you on that. So once again, it was a great meeting great to be able to, which I love to do, is collaborate, network with a lot of brothers who know, who passionate, who are about something.
We need to do that again, man. Just to have those personas together, able to connect. We'll figure it out, but we need to do it again over something that we can all mechanize for our good.
Don't forget about me when the next thing come up.
You know I never do, man. You know I never do.
Because in the future, I would like to do more in regards to maybe have a possible live stream or on the spot interviews, the conversations. You know what I'm saying? Just to get more that I could. The people need to see more of the real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, we have so many other outlets. There's no shade to Real STL News and whatever else, but it's still so much more that needs to be brought out in a certain way.
Facts.
You know, in a certain presentation. And, you know, that's what I feel God has put on me to do, is to be able to find ways to get certain things out there and do it in a professional and a not trying to be petty or be, you know, causing, you know, whatever else, any kind of negative mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, the people need to see more reality. Because, and that's why, once again, I have this show. And I have so many great guests who at the end of every episode, they'd be like, man, I didn't know what to expect, but I expect to come here and leave out being so open and vulnerable. Because that's what is going to sell more than some scripted reality show. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, man. Facts.
That's what we need. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to do the best of my abilities to make that happen.
Right.
So
you're doing it, man.
Yeah. So for you to be here, we're going to definitely link up, do so many more things. So now, after the meeting, not too long after that, or maybe even leading up to it, there were some things that you started doing.
Oh yeah,
that was rubbing certain
a lot of people the wrong way.
The wrong way.
Yeah.
In which you came out with a few, as they want to say, diss tracks.
Yeah.
Some will say it was uncalled for. Some will say, well, hey, he's being 100. You just can't take what he's saying.
Yeah.
The candidate herself was trying to do the best to press charges or, you know, whatever she wanted to try to do to use her power to prevent this from going out. And she felt like it was like a defamation of character type thing. So talk about the reason why you wanted to go ahead and put those tracks in.
So this is what really happened from my perspective. If you follow my platform and my music, I always kind of address local issues in my stuff. And what I saw happening was what we have been talking about since like 1998, what the OGs have been talking about, like the Black epicenters of this community being up for grab and up for sale and up for displacement with the next mayor that was coming in by the name of Karen Spencer. We already kind of knew that she was going to win because the way that St. Louis politics is set up, the mayoral primary, I don't even know if we got any primaries in the nation set up like ours, where basically the person that wins the primary for the most part wins the mayoral election. You know what I'm saying? It's very hard to beat the person that wins the primary because you got 30 days to do it. By then, the money is spent, everybody's down, the narratives are seated, you know. So I looked at it like, we're going to see if our relationship with Tashara Jones can really be not necessarily patched up, but healed somewhat, not just for us, but for her also. Then, and the us I talk about is just the city. And even when I was out, I heard a lot of brothers say, I never met the mayor. I heard a lot of brothers say, I don't even know if she cared that I exist. I got a business. She was right across the street, never came in here. You know what I'm saying? And so I was hearing this type of stuff. And I said, well, look, I know she down to sit down with guys. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the issue, let me go ahead and try to see if I could play a role in setting it up. Once I got that done, I said, okay, cool. I looked all y'all in the eyes at that point. I was in the room with all the guys who I felt was the power brokers of St. Louis. Cultural brokers, media brokers, spiritual guys, guys from all sectors. So once that happened, and I kind of felt like we wasn't necessarily all on the same page in terms of a mass political agenda, but we was all on the same page as much as we needed to be about the bare essentials of the moment. So I left the room knowing that I was gonna have to get to work. And I knew my work on this one was going to be different than my work on previous ones. Mostly because we did, like you said, the first question you asked me, we did kind of know it was going to be a losing battle. So I had to do what I could do to kind of alert the community that in a matter of days, this is what's going to actually happen to us. Now, I don't have prophetic visions that tell me exactly step by step what's going to happen, but I do have what I call prophetic impulses, you know. And when I wrote the first song, people might think I'm making this up, but God told me, he said, you're going to make another one. And he said, actually, I want you to go ahead and make that one right now, because when you drop this one, the chess moves that's going to come after this, you're going to need more content. And I did feel that it was a bit impulsive to do that many records on a real life major metropolis mayoral candidate that was probably going to end up being the mayor. I knew I was kind of tripping, you know what I'm saying? But also I'm in the same veins of or trying to be considered in the same veins as the Dick Gregorys and the Richard Pryors and the black men that was really challenging the lines and meshing entertainment with real talk. You know what I'm saying? Ali even, you know, yeah, man, that's a great one. So part of my game plan is this. I know I could rap. I know they can't. They never gonna be able to run me out of hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's just nothing they could do about that. So I knew that I always know when the chips are down, I could run back to hip hop to get my messaging out. I know that, you know what I'm saying? Now, where they messed up is that I have grown really good at kind of determining when to jump off the bridge with it. So a lot of people might make the move at the wrong time. They might, no, I said we're gonna wait going into the weekend. And over the weekend, when they kind of lacking, you know what I'm saying? I'm dropping them like torpedoes, you know what I'm saying? And the first song I dropped, she, you know, people debate me about it because they want to say that where I get my facts from. I get my facts from the fact that I'm in the situation. I've been in Tef Poe for a long time. I got one of the most powerful lawyers in the city. You know what I'm saying? So when I dropped the track and he saw the commotion going on, you know, his job to kind of watch me. So he called me. He said, well, I called him and I said, you know, I'm hearing that Kara Spencer called the police chief. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, don't drop no more songs yet. Let me get on the situation and see what's going on. Mm-hmm. So he made some phone calls and he called me back and he said, this is him saying, I can only tell you what my guy told me. You know what I'm saying? He said, you good? Situation is going away. I took care of it. They were debating whether or not you could be charged. Mm. And I said, who was debating this? And he said, you don't need to worry about it because I talked to him. But it was some folks that was down at the station and they was listening to the tracks and they were debating, you know, they combing through the songs to see is there any threats, credible threats, you know, credible acts of violence associated with what you're saying. And a lot of people who live here, it's a lot of white folks that live here who live in St. Louis who want to play both sides. Like they want to be able to come to the black parties and the black functions. They want to kick it with us at the festivals. They want to kiki with us at Sophie's. But when it's really time for us to make black pushes for power, for us to stand up, not have to come in, getting it off y'all coattails. Like, why we got to go to y'all bar to drink? Why we got to come to y'all concert venues to perform? Why do everything we do as black entertainers in a black city, in a city that's designed for black entertainment? Why we always got to get it off of their coattails? Like, what's wrong with us standing it up ourselves? And that's part of the problem. Like, I mean, that's part of the reason why I come back to platforms like yours, because it's genuinely black owned. It's genuinely a black man and his family trying to build out their own thing. And so let me fast forward. My lawyer said he took care of the situation. The songs is on the internet going viral, 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 viral. There's nothing I could do about it at that point. Now, what I decided not to do was pour more gasoline on it by, being in the streets, doing certain stuff. And, I'm a little bit more mature than I was probably a couple of years ago, where I probably would have turned it into a whole nother situation.
And to add on to that, because that's what they would want to see, because they're not giving probable cause to go ahead and do what they want to do.
Exactly. So once my lawyer made that call, said it was good, I said I could drop some more stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the chamber.
So he probably didn't even know more was coming. And I kind of feel like he preferred that I didn't, but he ain't gonna never tell me exactly not to do it. As long as, if I ain't doing something that's really breaking the law, he gonna tell me, hey man, do what you gotta do. So, he gave me a little light warning, like, yeah, you pushing the line with this one, because they are hearing these songs, and you are causing a lot of conversations citywide. Everywhere I went, people was talking about these records. So yeah, man, it was crazy.
Man. So just tell me what you had to go through. I know this ain't the only time in your life that you have been threatened. That you now just tell me from your point of view.
Yeah.
Yes, we say, oh yeah, I fear no man, I fear God. Talk about receiving possible death.
Oh yeah, man. You want to know the truth? I don't really pay attention to a lot of those. When it's hot, I'm getting them all the time.
Yeah.
When it's hot on the stove, when the issue is burning, when they see me do stuff like call those meetings and they see all those people together, oh yeah, you please believe they don't like the oppositional forces don't like seeing that. But to tell you the truth, man, I'm such a spiritualist, such a man of God that, bruh, I don't take none of that stuff serious, bruh. It ain't like I go outside and provoke it and say, hey, come in, get, man. But man, when you with God, for real, like for real with God, not just thinking you with him, and you do the work and you do the self-isolation and you sit and hear the messages that he wants you to put in your music, and you listen to how he wants you to treat your friends and your family, and all of that coincides with me being able to be the person that I'm trying to be. Right. So when I get the death threats and the people saying this and that, man, if here's the thing, I earnestly believe nothing's gonna happen to me without no pass from God saying it's gonna happen anyway. And guess what? If God say something gonna happen, then it's a part of his agenda anyway. So I ain't nothing but a tool under his agenda anyway. So whatever his agenda is, it's gonna be the agenda of the day. It's gonna be the agenda of the eons. It's gonna, however this close out on planet Earth, it's God's agenda regardless. So I'm just playing my role in that saga, man. I ain't worried about none of that stuff. I don't even internalize it. I go to sleep good at night. You know what I'm saying? And to tell you the truth, you see me a lot of times in different places. I'm not walking around with 3,000 people. You feel me? Like, never have, never will. I'm a man of the people. Y'all know what it is. I'm from these communities. I'm from the same things that y'all are from. I'm from them same things. So I'll never exchange that for looking like I'm nervous or scared to be with my people. I'll never exchange that.
One thing that you don't want to feel at the end of the day is that you didn't do what God saw you.
Man, that was a big deal for me with Tashar Jones and Kara Spencer. I don't feel that Kara Spencer is a evil person. You don't hear me, like, I put certain stuff in my music You know what I'm saying? But verbally, you ain't hearing me go, oh, this lady need to burn in hell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't really,
Right.
what I'm talking about is a real deal, what's going on. And that's where the tripwire for certain people comes in, because I'm not talking spookism. I'm not getting on here to talk about the earth is flat and all that stuff. I'm talking about real facts. Like, hey, player, you need to know about this, because if this go down, blocks of property that have been legacied in by the Black community, our birthright, things that we need to, in order to have a chance to pass something on to the next generation. So she represents an agenda from a group of people who find that problematic. And we got to know that we are viewed as the problem, first of all, in order to address the problem. Like, you addressing something that ain't the problem sometimes when they view you as the problem. The fact that you cannot be moved, you cannot be stopped, you cannot be silenced, that makes you the problem. When you won't co-op, you don't care about getting no job down at City Hall. And that's the thing about me. I don't care about getting no job at City Hall. I'm unhireable. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all never gonna put me on. I don't care about holding no public office. I'm probably unelectable by most of the state, right? But the position that I am in is one where you can't stop a man that's commissioned to tell the truth. And sure, you can have your own version of the truth, and I can have my own version of the truth. But similar to what Bone Thug said, Crazy Bone said this on the song. He said, he was talking about the police. He said, I got the same thing that you got. So it all depends who got the sharpest shot. We both armed with our version of the truth. So now it's all who gonna shoot the best silver bullet.
So, you mentioned earlier, going back to Shara, and how people don't forget, or whether it's Black people or the city, don't forget. And I will say, in regards to the Black community, yes, we are quick. We will hold you down, and say, let's go, let's do this. However, if we feel like we've been slighted, or something has going on, the same person that we root for,
we're gonna flip on
all of a sudden it's like,
you
see, you told us that you gonna take care of us during this run, and you messed up. Going back to the whole bringing trying to regain the trust. So, do you feel, because when you brought up the primary, it was pretty much a landslide.
It was over with.
And I saw that, I was like,
it was case closed.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, she basically had no chance.
Yeah.
So just talking about that in regards to how we can be, because we have white people in the city too. You know, shouts out to y'all. But in regards to just us, because you know how we are. Yeah. We can be boom, let's go, rah, rah, rah. Yeah. And one thing goes wrong. Yeah. Oh no, the support is all of a sudden gone.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, going back to the truth, right? The truth don't care what color you is, it don't care what religion you is. It don't necessarily care what socioeconomic background you is. Right. It's just the truth. You know, when you being transparent, it's not a matter of emotion. Transparency is a matter of what it is, right? You tell me, if I come down here and you say, hey, bro, you know, this is my home, just being transparent with you. I don't like people going out there in my backyard doing blah, blah, blah. It's just you being transparent. It's not a matter of emotion. Right. So a lot of times when we choose to be transparent as leaders, as figureheads, even as regular people trying to push leaders, whatever transparency look like for Black folks, it's always a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's a problem for us to be transparent about what we want, what we desire. And I think that sometimes Black women in leadership get punished harder for that transparency, because they come from a world where they might feel like, if I am coming out at the gate telling the truth about what I'm doing here and why I'm doing it, nobody should have a problem with it. And I think brothers, we tend to kind of have a broken spirit about that type of stuff, because we've been trying to tell people stuff that's what's up, and everybody like, man, we don't want to listen to you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean you coming around here? Like, you know how many Black men got inventions and stuff they probably could change the planet, but don't nobody want to listen to them because they think it's crazy. Like, man, you made what? Man, get out my face, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I look at all of this stuff like, we just got to be humble and have our egos in check when we address it. You know what I'm saying? That's what keep me in the game, having my ego in check.
I want to talk about your drive. Was this something from genetics, your mom, dad? Like, where do you feel that you got that your drive from, that want, that will, that mindset of, you know what, no matter what's going on, I'm still gonna speak my piece whether you like it or not. Where do you feel that you get that from?
I want to make history, man. And I want the people with me to be able to go down in history with me. I want people to be able to look at stuff like this 30 years from now and go, man, I stumbled on this interview. These guys was really chopping it up. And this was going on. I like to create my own space for context. I believe that I'm building a legacy. And similar to LeBron James, I feel like everybody do it different. So I saw guys like Nelly, he did it this way. I saw Chingy, he did it that way. The Lunatics, they did it this way. Me and my crew, this the way we doing it. You know what I'm saying? And we forged it out of fire. So a lot of times the city may not have been ready for how we was presenting our stuff. We might have been considered alternative music or music that wasn't ready for this, or, you know, sometimes they call us the political guys or this or that or woo woo woo. But at the same time, the drive comes from hip hop itself, man. Just we want to be in the books, we want to be in the pages, we want to be known as people who gave something to the culture, you know what I'm saying? And that's really what motivates me. That's the stimuli. That's the thing deep down inside that I can't leave until y'all know what time it is with us on that tip. You know what I'm saying? When I know that y'all know what's up with us on that tip, that's when you'll see me a little less. That's when you'll hear from me a little less. But I really intend on going out full speed as like the first underground cat from here that you do get to see till he about 80. I don't really have no intention of hanging it up. I don't see myself aging out of the culture. You can't come to me with the regular excuses that you can come to another grown man with and get me to stop pursuing my dreams. Rapping was just the first part of it. From there, y'all see what I did. I got into politics. I got into global affairs and stuff like that. From the next chapter of it for me, I mean, we trying to get land in Ghana. We trying to start businesses in Thailand. These is real conversations me and the homies is having. And we just have aspirations that are beyond like popping bottles in the club and getting killed on the parking lot at somebody ultra lounge. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really want to use this thing to do stuff that our kids can look back and say, that's why they did that for 20 years. Right. That's why they gave that time. That is sincerely what motivates me, for real.
And brought up in Ghana having this, like, we wanna make Wakanda be a reality, not a fantasy.
Yeah, man.
Bottom line. So
yeah.
I appreciate that. You talked about what Nelly did, what Chingy did, what Lunatics did, and your own crew. I know we briefly talked about it on the last episode. Y'all know about the last episode. Go on Smoooth Conversations.
Man, that was my first time on here, man.
And just listen to it because it was amazing, like it is right now. But for those who may not know about Crow Life Records, just talk about your company. But I also want to talk about this: the importance of not having yes men.
Yeah, man, I'm both. So Crow Life is a no yes men company, basically. I started Crow Life Records with a brother named Jay Stretch, who he been with me a very long time, ever since the 106 and Park days. And I started another brother by the name of Fresh Voice, but he calls himself Fresh Man. That's actually him right there in the background. He's producer, legendary MC, but he.
There we go. In the background, go ahead. There you go.
But if you know me, then you kind of probably know Fresh. He be with me everywhere, you know. But he is a producer and also basically a co-owner of our label as well. We kind of like our own version of a local boutique label, you know, where we not signing a lot of stuff in bulk, but the stuff that we do sign and that we do release, we try to give extra attention to. So we haven't released a lot of projects. We released one from my brother Franco, who is currently locked up, but he'll be out in a couple months. And me and him will probably do some stuff when he get out that'll really turn it up. But then we released Fresh's album, which is really one of the most interesting projects to come out in a long time. He's got collaborations with people that have never worked together. So you get to hear a little bit of Keem and myself on the track. You can hear Marion Tools, and you got Bezel Marciano, and you got Rockwell Knuckles, and you got the list goes on. KV the writer, you got A Game and Tread, MC Trez, you got Bodine, you got T-Dub, you got all these people on one project, and he took his own time, his own money, his own everything, and put it together. And you know me enough to know somebody doing that, I'm gonna go full speed behind you with every resource that I can bring to the table. So we just did a big listening session for his joint at Fat Buddha. Myself, Kiwan, Vivid, it was a bunch of sponsors. It was nice. But we get to this point in this story because for years, this is a guy that I watched as a young dude. Saw him and his guy X Luger doing shows and putting it on the line. And, they was known factors in what they were doing. And he kind of pulled his own music to the back to kind of become more of an executive minded dude and help with production of the shows and, basically co-management in a sense. And I always knew that when we got to a certain point, we was going to spin the block, put their stuff out. For me, it was important because these are people that I watched, and I see New York guys. They don't go back and get the Big Daddy Kanes. They don't go back and get the Slick Ricks. Nas just got Slick Rick again. He just signed him and did some new music with him. But that's the same type of concept I got. Like, why are we not putting the people on the floor that really know how to do it? You know what I'm saying? So that's where the mentality of us kind of not being yes men come from too, because our allegiance is to the hotness. Our allegiance is to what's working, what can work, and really what's going to give us the freedom to be as creative as we want to be and not feel restricted. And we can't really be a bunch of liars to each other and accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? So I need guys around me, and he need guys around him that's willing to tell the truth. And that's really what stabilizes the relationship.
Which leads me to ask a question I love to ask guests, and I don't recall that I asked you this last time because we had so many other great conversations to talk about. But collaboration versus competition, what does that mean to you?
Man, you know what? At this stage, I don't really believe in a lot of competition. The competition is these bigger corporations and these conglomerates that we can't get at the table with. That's the part of me where I feel like I've done my Ice Cube, I've done my Jay-Z, I've done my Tupac, I've done my rebellious kind of bad boy, me against the world hip hop. That'll always be an element of what we're doing, but with Crow Life and everything else that we're building now, we want an enterprise. And you can't really enterprise having like this mentality that the local mom and pops is competing with you. If anything, we in conglomerate with the local people, but our people that we are trying to be in a nuclear arms race against are the people outside of the city, the real big boys in the space that when you knock on the door, they say, nah, Smooth, come back when you get the check. We want to come with you when you knock on that door. They say, nah, Smooth. You come back, say, Poe. They said, nah. I say, cool, we bringing 10,000 more people with you tomorrow. Cool. They don't want, see if they can say nah when you come back with 10K people. Right. You know what I'm saying? I believe in the power of people and the power of us, like on some Malcolm X stuff. When Malcolm went down in the movie and got the brother out the jail, that is how I want to look at some point in life. You know what I'm saying? Like in business, like, man, let's go in here and lay it down. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a experience that just, for ourselves.
I'm glad you brought it up because it reminds me of when I saw some clips, this, I guess, sometime last year in the wintertime. But like, it was these brothers that was in Detroit. that started this movement of like going to gas stations
Yeah.
with rifles, not to start trouble,
Yeah.
but to protect our women.
Yeah, I know a few of them guys. New Era Detroit. Shout out. I don't know him personally. I don't know Zeke personally, but I know a lot of guys that know Zeke out there. My boy Skrill out there. My boy Sloan out there. The whole BMB Detroit. Them cats out there, man. I know a lot of them brothers that's in the D doing exactly what you said. So, man, right now we all taking inspiration and motivation from each other. Real talk.
So with that, what can brothers do more?
Mm-hmm.
Not just to protect our Black women, which they definitely need a protection, but just to protect us.
Man, it start with being yourself, man. You know, it took me getting into my 40s to really start feeling like I was in my own skin.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never feel in my skin until I turned 40. You know what I'm saying? It's something about that maturity where you can look at stuff and go, even the question of collaboration versus competition, right? Younger me, I'm trying to come up. I'm trying to get out the basement. I'm trying to make a name. I'm going to have a competitive spark in me against people in a way that may rub some people wrong. But when I'm coming out the racing brackets, I'm at the part where we trying to clear the swamp to see who really trying to make it. Let's get rid of this baseline 300 people that heard country grammar and went and bought studio time or put a studio in their basement and said, let's rap. Okay, cool. Y'all done? Okay, everybody that's serious and think you made it through that level? Okay, cool. How many cats we got here? It's like, what's the movie? Squid Games. Mm-hmm. So can I keep being the cat that's living through the different chapters of Squid Game? And when you get to a certain point, it's like, okay, what am I actually competing against? You know what I'm saying? Like, where am I going with this? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? So now I'm infusing the type of maturity that's helping us get stuff done that only a mature person can do. You know, it takes a mature person to do certain records and call certain meetings and connect certain people. Understand it. I'm not getting nothing immediately from this. So I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for what so you can call me next week and say, hey, Poe, no, I'm doing this right now because A, it's the right thing to do. And it's something that we all gonna benefit from in the long run. You know, I don't believe in gatekeeping like that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's I want to go back now to a couple months ago. Kara Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as she can sit down in her seat,
mm-hmm.
we had another tornado.
Yeah.
That
devastating one. Big one.
Something that has not happened since 1950s. Where a tornado actually touched down in the heart of the city and definitely changed a lot of lives. And once again, this happened not too long after she was just trying to get her seat warm.
Yeah, barely got in the seat.
And now, as the song says, it's boots on the ground.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many things that you have been doing. Trying to get the community together, having this at O'Fallon Park, going here to this spot, getting all the resources that you can get. Talk about just from your perspective. After that tornado went down, what was your mindset?
Man, my real mindset was we gotta save some lives if we can. And I gotta be a part of that, however I can. I was out there the night that the tornado hit, which a lot of people don't know, and surveyed the area. And what I was seeing, I saw some stuff that'll shock you that night. And it blew my mind. I saw two elderly people, like an elderly couple who you could tell their house had just got knocked over and they had nowhere to go. And they was out there just kind of wandering. And I said, yo, this is going to be crazy, you know. And I didn't know exactly how bad it was, but I knew it was pretty bad. And what I also started to think, I say this on Smoooth Conversations, I told you so. I didn't know that it was going to be a tornado, obviously, but I knew that we were going to be in some dilemma against this occupying administration. And it was going to consist around Black people and land in St. Louis. And if you saw the writing on the wall, that was what was coming down the whole time. Mm-hmm. This just kind of helped accelerate the agenda. And so I just knew that this was going to be, I just sat there and kind of said, dag. Like, I felt bad for dropping all them songs at first, if I'm being honest, because I'm like, did I take it too far? But I also, like I said in the beginning interview, I got to listen to G.O.D. And he said, man, keep loading up. He said, don't you stop. He said, you sound that alarm. He said, you blow the trumpet. I kept hearing Gabriel and the trumpet, that phrase in my head, blow the trumpet. Mm-hmm. And when I saw the tornado, it hit and all that, and I was out there a couple of days, and I'm talking to people, and I'm having all these conversations with folks. I said, this is why he told me blow the trumpet. He was trying to use the music to give whoever would listen a fair shot of hearing. There's just one avenue that somebody could have heard what was going down. They might have saw an interview with Tashar Jones and heard what was going down. They might have read something in the paper. But for the people who not going to interface with none of that, he said, you blow the trumpet because it's coming. And if they got the blood on the wall, they got the writing on the door, they might survive it. But those who choose to kind of be dumb, deaf, and blind, period, it may not be nothing that come in their direction because the information is being put out there routinely for you to know that, all right, obviously we can't predict this thing step by step, but something is happening to the Black community that's going to change things forever in the next upcoming set of weeks. So that's really what I've been living in, to tell you the truth, Smooth. I've been living in the fact that there was obvious signs in the physical world and the spiritual world that this was going to happen. And now that it has happened, what does that mean for us in this new emerging world? What world are we really living in now? Right. That this is a real thing. This really happened to us, and we really had to respond to it. And we're going to have to prepare to have even more responses to it in the future. It was kind of, for me, like skipping timelines, kind of like a quantum leap type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I asked my guest this last week, Jason Little, shouts out to him, watched the episode as well. But I just asked him, I said, man, 2025 has been something else.
It's been wild.
I mean, the stuff that you don't think would happen has happened.
This has been one of the wildest years ever, yes. Bro. Yes. Wildest years. And to be alive to witness it. And that's what I think sometimes, too, about the tornado. Like I said, I'm a big history buff. So think about the fact that it's 2025. Kids going to live to be in 2099, 2088. Somebody's going to see these years, you know, and they're going to turn back the pages of the history, and they're going to read about us. Yep. and how we responded to it. They're going to be like, dang, man, folks really went through that and hopefully rebuilt. We don't know yet because it's still playing out. But hopefully at the end of it, they say we rebuilt, we fought, and if we and also this time, let's do our part to set the future generation up with the gospel of what could happen to us in a way where it don't always got to be us on the defense. We can take some pride in our history from different angles too and not be victims.
So I haven't been in those areas in a while. Have you been down there? Have you seen any sight of progress or the vibe of, we know what, we're going to bounce back, we're going to be better, this is not going to destroy us?
I respect the resilience of St. Louis, man. One thing I took for granted that I didn't know I was going to see is people went out there and fought back on their own. People prepared on their own. People tried to rebuild on their own. People cooked for the folks who didn't have nowhere to go. Folks with food trucks pull up every day donating food. People with just a grill. They don't got no food truck. They just got a regular grill. I'm going to get out here and do what I can. I'm so proud to be from the crib in the wake of something like this. To me, this was bigger than a lot of stuff that we as a community combated, because a lot of times we'll use different situations to split us apart. Somebody's son get killed by the police, you might hear somebody say, well, didn't nobody show up for my son? You know what I'm saying? Nobody show up for my daughter. And I used to think stuff like that was petty, but that's they real, stay real feeling. You know what I'm saying? And in this situation, what you saw was everybody showing up for everybody. And I really respect that, man. And I think we got to keep that vibe going. And if you see it, if you really around St. Louis moving around right now, that's the energy. You know, people are proud to know each other, happy to know each other. People are proud of the relationships. And a lot of the age-old, senseless beefs that weren't really beefs, but just little stuff that kept us from connecting. Certain key figures of doing the work to put that stuff behind us, man. And I don't know where it all goes from here, because it's not a general kumbaya. We all got stuff we got to work out. We all got history with each other. But I do respect the fact that the positivity is what got us through this and is getting us through this.
So with that being said, Mayor Spencer, what has been your overall thoughts in regards to how things have been under her leadership as of now?
It's been the same. You know, I'm where I'm at with it. I feel like we dealing with a lot of paperwork gangsters. You know, people that know how to sign legislation and documents and policy into effect, and people will read it and not know what it means. I think that they're doing a lot of very interesting kind of trickery style things with the Rams, with the Rams money. I think we as a community need to keep watching that, need to keep asking questions about that. I think you should talk about that every day on the social media if you can, because it's real money, is right there. And they really want to use that bread to do things that won't necessarily directly affect our material circumstances. The governor and her going into this, just me being a political and knowing my stuff, they didn't really have a great relationship. But this is where we got to watch it, and not just black folk, but poor people, because the relationship that is emerging now is one that's set up to manipulate the poor, and a lot of times we get lost in that because black folks are the most marginalized, so we'll be the first ones to say something. But it's not just a black or a white issue; it's an issue of the Commonwealth, and we just can't get lost in the gravity of people wanting to not address the issue because it appears to be a black issue. No, this is a issue for all St. Louisans. And that's why with the tornado, you saw so many white folks responding, because who cares what color the electrician is, as long as they can go in there and fix the electricity, and they willing to do it. Who cares what color the dude putting the tarp on the roof is, if he willing to climb this roof and keep these people dry. So I think that the Kara Spencer administration tries to take those elements of St. Louis sometimes. Our willingness to work together, the people's willingness to work across the aisle. I feel that that her administration takes something that we naturally curated amongst ourselves as a community, and they try to use that to the goodness of their marketing, their branding, their imaging, when that's not stuff that they invested in. That's not stuff that they helped set up. That's not relationships that they coordinated. That's literally the people. No matter what color you are, no matter what background you come from, religion, that's literally the people. The people making the decision to work together ain't got nothing to do with them.
Once again, this is Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. For those who are watching right now, thank y'all very much. Scan the QR code on the top left of the screen. Connect with any and all things related to Smooth Productions, yours truly. And also go on to YouTube, subscribe, Smooth Conversations. That's going to be smooth. Radio. So, I asked you about Mayor Spencer. Let me ask you about former Mayor Tashoma.
Mm-hmm.
Have you talked to her recently? What's been her mindset since the loss?
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like, okay, she's in a better place now? She's
Yeah.
good. What do you think about?
Think
about her
so I've been working with her, ironically enough, in the streets. I used for a period of time I was seeing Tashar Jones every day with the tornado response stuff. And I found that to be very admirable as well, because she gave every resource she could give as a businesswoman, as a former politician, and really just as a stand-up human being to the goodness of the community. And these are relationships she could have hoarded for her personal endeavors. If we keeping it real, she don't work for the city no more. Right. She just lost her job down there. But she was still out there soldiering. And to me, man, that's the stuff I like to see. That's what I like to see in my leadership. That's what I like to see in my community leaders, and not just on some politics stuff, because I don't know what she may do in the future right now. She may choose to go into banking. She may she may law. I don't know what her interests are now that she's moving out of this sector. But what I could respect about it is, no matter what those interests may be in the future, she was front line for that doggone tornado, man. Like front line. Yeah. And she did every job that I could see a person doing, literally. So, and I'm saying this on camera, like, because people need to know this stuff. It's a lot of stuff that people who ain't physically there don't know. So I'll see her in the office, kind of on the command center, getting her corporate business lady on, talking to folks. Who knows what she making happen, helping make happen. I'll see her outside directing traffic, getting people into the Old Fallon Y. I remember one time I had a truck I had to unload with plywood or load with plywood to send to the west side. Her and her staffers come up there helping us load the truck. You know what I'm saying? Internally, I felt bad because I'm like, man, we got Tashar Jones out here loading trucks and stuff, dog. Like, not that she leaning into any respectability, but you have that respect for those in your community like that, and but soldier, man, frontline soldier. I haven't talked to her about too much personal stuff. We did talk a couple days after the election via text, and she said, basically, to paraphrase, she said, we ain't got nothing to be ashamed of, and we gave it what we gave it our best shot. And at the end, we lost to something that was a little bit bigger than us. You know what I'm saying? And but for me, I want to be clear, because I'm on Smoooth Conversations. I don't receive this as a loss as a person who stepped into the gauntlet, because I'm a citizen who chose the person I chose. It just so happened I got a different bullhorn than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But man, the loss would have been if we weren't prepared to respond to different things that are happening today, despite not having the same direct access to power that we had. So if she would have lost and not been able to be effective in these now times, and just was a shanty shack of a person, then we could say that they was right. We had a pushover for a mayor. We had a lady that didn't care. But that just wasn't what the DNA of Tashar Jones has proven her to be. So I say that with deep, deep respect, because if you know me, one thing I respect, people who get outside with me and do stuff with the community, I respect that. You taking time away from your family. We're in a very dangerous city, St. Louis. Anything can happen. I respect folks who, one of the problems I kind of had with Bernie Sanders, my respect wasn't there for him because I didn't see him want to start a real political movement. Despite, no matter what happened, win, lose, draw, you got these millions of people now who are galvanized by your messaging. What are you going to do with them people for real? What's the real agenda to them people besides getting you a higher paying job? So that's the problem I have with electeds when they lose. If you don't keep on kind of movement building and giving us things to do and placing yourself in our lives, then it was all for us to make sure you got a better job.
Hey, what is your purpose? What are you trying to achieve? You know what I'm saying? And going back to Shara, glad that you brought that up in regards to she could have easily after the election be like, you know what, I gave them all, screw y'all, I'm about to go ahead and take trips to Cabo and to Paris and to wherever else. To no hell hit, I'm still gonna be.
Let me count that.
All right, y'all. Sorry about that. For some reason, technology didn't want us to be great, but we are back. Smooth Conversation. This is part two. Once again, I am your boy Smooth with three O's. Got Tef Poe, man, my brother right here. Appreciate him
Yes,
coming
sir.
through again. Just having grown man conversations once again on Smooth Conversations. So let's keep things going in regards to what we were talking about earlier. Back to Shaw in regards to how she could have easily just
Yeah,
been like, hey, you know, wipe my hands of it.
I'm done.
I'm good. But once again, she was right there. I think it was amazing. Also, for those listening on Beat District Radio, sorry, I know y'all are probably enjoying it and were listening. Now I got back to one thing, but once again, we're back. So apologize, technology. Never know sometimes. But we here and we're glad to be back to keep on talking about this life, man, and moving on forward. Because that's the biggest thing now is that while everything that we have been through in 2025, God is still allowing us to still move forward. Talk about that from your perspective.
Man, I really agree with that. I think that's all you can do in life is live through it, you know. And we got the blessing as Black Americans, man, to go through the stuff we went through, but also be kind of some of the only people on the planet who said, "No, forget that. We're gonna save ourselves." You know what I'm saying? We believe in God. We gonna let God show us the way. But at the end of the day, you done prayed all you could pray. Now it's time to walk off the plantation. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and we are people that have done a lot of things to stand ourselves up and show the rest of the world what it's like to restore your own dignity. You know what I'm saying? But this new chapter of what we up against is going to require parts unknown of us, you know, because we up against unprecedented stuff that's happening right now is crazy. And it's causing a lot of people to lose faith in stuff that they know to be tried and true. I just feel like we look at people who've been through what we've been through, been in the bellies of those slave ships, man, got abducted from their families. Even in cases, I mean, in the 90s, cats who got sent off to the Gulf War. And, you know, you open your eyes and you real life in Saudi Arabia. You real life in Kuwait with a gun in your hand. I mean, people have been through some crazy stuff prior to us, this stuff that we're going through.
Right.
So, yeah, it's crazy, but we're going to see if we can live through it. That's how I see it.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. So, going back to now, Crow Life, man, what's next for you, man? I know that you were having a series of open mic events.
Yeah, we've been doing the Apex Lounge thing. I'm be real with you. I ain't put my full force behind that yet. We've been doing it, but I haven't put my real muscle behind it yet. I'm kind of finding my way with it, experimenting, trying to see what's going to be the best format, what I like, what I don't like. But we got another one coming up this Sunday at the Atomic by JMO. And really, I just go in there and see if I can find talent, like people who I think might be hungry, might be passionate, might be consistent. Those type of people I want to work with moving forward as we do think about what pieces we might want to add to Crow Life. You know, Fresh is a producer. He might want to do some production on some guys. He might want to drop some singles. He might want to find some people he can work with. So we just kind of taking our time and just trying to find stuff that's genuine out there. Like I'm not really rushing it to see. Like I don't got that hunger to just grab something just to be grabbing it. Because what we do pick up, we want it to be so special, man, that it just makes a lot of sense when people hear it, interact with it, interface with it. And we looking for people that's coachable. The problem with a lot of artists that I've encountered, people ain't really coachable. So I can't tell you that beat is a good beat, but it's overproduced. You don't want to hear that. Those lyrics you got, they great lyrics, but it's too many words in that. People can't, that's not a memorable song. People, regular people who don't write rap can't rap that. So people don't want to hear stuff like that. And I think a lot of times people look at an artist like myself who sometimes my lyrics are a bit more complicated than the average person's lyrics, but also my approach to music in general creates places for people to onboard themselves into the content. So if this ain't for you, maybe this is for you. And I kind of keep that going. And for Crow Life Records, and the records is just the first tier of what we're trying to do. We want to get into production. We want to get into movies. We want to get into films. I'm talking to people in California about different things. I'm working with a smaller label in LA, not a smaller label because they're not small at all, but a independent label in LA named Beat Rock with a Filipino brother named Bamboo, his wife Rocky. We're working on some projects with their producer Oteo Dub. I'm gonna go out to Inglewood in a couple of weeks, record in their LA studio. And really, I'm just taking that, using Crow Life to take that St. Louis sound and evangelize it wherever we could go. Yeah. You know.
Speaking of traveling, you recently went to Alaska.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
when you told me that, I was like, wow, that has to have been an amazing trip. Different because then you said that there was really no nighttime.
No nighttime, man.
So talk about that experience, man, being in Alaska, doing what you do in regards to your passion, man, and just experiencing Alaska.
I went out there, connected with a brother named Mike Mass, sister named DJ Lele Beats is a producer. I met a lot of people out there in a short time. We did a couple shows, me and my guy Rod Stars, this group Rebel Diaz. But we did a couple dive bars, you know, small bars type situations. Yeah. But when you do about 3 or 4 of them pretty big audiences after a while. So we did about 3 or 4 of those. But it was weird rapping out there because, like, imagine it being midnight, but it looks like this outside. Right. And you on stage trying to create a nighttime vibe. You know what I'm saying? I had never encountered nothing like that. You know, it was cool. People did not go to sleep, man. They was trying to get as much of that sun in them as they could because they said they had 6 months of darkness. And it was just a different place. It was like a paradox, like a portal or something. Like it just wasn't a normal, never been nowhere like Alaska, nowhere. Mountains is everywhere. It was kind of cold. It was about 50 degrees in June, you know, but for them, that was their summertime. But what I learned, because I learned something everywhere I go. And I'm coming from St. Louis doing the tornado relief with the People's Response in Action St. Louis. And then I leave from that to go to Alaska to do some rap shows. And my mind was so split in two because I'm like, these is way different worlds. I'm in North St. Louis every day doing this. And then I'm here looking at snow-capped mountains. And for me, to be real with you, Smooth, it's just humbling. It don't make me want to come back talking smack. It don't make me want to, because at some point now I'm witnessing the real majesty of God, man. I'm a rapper who ain't got no major record deal. We don't have a Def Jam backing us. We don't have an Interscope. We don't have a Universal. You know, we are that. So to be doing that, and rhymes and songs I wrote, I walked in the club, they were playing one of the Kara Spencer disses. And at that time, God said, I told you what to do. As long as you just keep doing what I tell you to do, you're straight. Don't worry about these cats, that cat. And some people might go, why is he cutting 1,000 freestyles at this lady? Because I know my fan base. And I know what they expect me to hear. I mean, what they expect to hear from me and what they expect for it to sound like sometimes and where they want me to kind of, they invested in this story and they want to see where the twists and turns happen. And when I get off the plane and I go into the club in Alaska, man, and I'm hearing these records like that, that's underground mixtape records designed to talk about a real particular thing. And people like, nah, we love this stuff, dog. We know what you're talking about, but we don't get it all, but we get it enough. We ain't from where you from, but we understand enough. Man, that's, to me, that's what we did it for. That's what we do it for. That's Spice One. That's Mac from No Limit. That's Fiend. That's Nas. That's Scarface. That's all these guys. You know what I'm saying? I just get the opportunity to be these people in my own way in different settings. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. How hard was it for you to go to sleep, stay asleep? You know,
I couldn't go to sleep, dog. I couldn't go to sleep. My last day there, man, I said, man, I got to get up out of here, man. I couldn't go to bed, man. I went to sleep for a couple hours at a time, and then I wake right back up, and it would be the sun beaming on you. And you in a place that you've never been that's so exotic, you want to kind of get out there and do everything you can do. So, yeah, I came back home, wore down, man. Wore out.
And I know that you've been a man who has traveled a lot. Is there a country, state that you haven't been to that you would like to explore?
I did all the states. Okay. Favorite city is New Orleans, just because there's so much Black culture down there and music. And man, you could leave the house 3 o'clock in the morning and go do a whole show in New Orleans, and people gonna be in there waiting to see you. I like stuff like that. I love cities where you go and the art just off the chain. I like Puerto Rico a lot, even though it's not a state. I always have a good time in Puerto Rico. Don't need a passport to go there. I also learned about the history of Puerto Rico and what they're going through and how they got in that situation. The country that I went to top of the year that I've never been to that I really, really enjoyed, I would encourage more Black people to go to, is Barbados. Barbados is amazing, man. They have a Black-ran government, all Black, like on some Wakanda stuff. And they look like us, regular people, you know what I'm saying? And they making real decisions. They recently chartered themselves away from Great Britain and got their own freedom. So they a whole real life independent nation. They redesigned their own flag. They redesigned their healthcare system. If you're born in Barbados, you can go to college for free. You get healthcare free. All the way up through the whole process. You can become a doctor just because you was born in Barbados. I thought that was amazing. But I didn't know about their connection to us and slavery and all that. I didn't know. I learned a lot. Where I want to probably go next, I do want to spend more time in Eastern Africa. I never really got down out there like that. Whenever I go to Africa, it's kind of Northern Africa. It's kind of Egypt, kind of Jordan. I'm in the places that they are African places, but the actual Africans there don't get treated the best. So, yeah, I got a lot of hopes and aspirations for the future. We want to do more shows in Alaska. We want to talk to some St. Louis artists about creating that pipeline to go to some of these places that I'm going. What do it look like for us to create a tunnel for people from Barbados to come here to perform, us to go there to perform? How do we get some, what I'm really intrigued about, sound crazy, but I'm really intrigued about this, is building a bridge between St. Louis hip hop and Vietnam. There's a lot of Vietnamese hip hop artists, and the Vietnam that we think of in the modern world ain't the same Vietnam. They got a lot of stuff going on over there that if we can find the right plugs and the right people to talk to, man, we could be on a plane tomorrow going to do some business. So them the stuff, that's the stuff I look for, you know. And even, you know, my boy Abood out there in Ireland, I'm gonna send him this, hopefully he watch it. I want to go to Ireland and connect with cats like him, do some music out there with him, you know. So all the international forces and coalitions and artists and singers and media, man, St. Louis, Missouri is open to y'all. We hope that you open your doors to us. That's what Crow Life represents. Smooth, my mans, I know that's what he represent. I don't think y'all know it, but it's a oasis of us who are here and ready to do business on a real international level.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And talk about receiving that love, because yes, we do get love in the States in our own town. But talk about that love as a performer when you're going to Alaska, when you're going to different countries, and like they just come out in droves and treat you like you're Elvis or Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you saw, if you haven't seen on social media when Beyonce had a concert in Europe and Jay-Z surprised everyone, and like they just went bananas. Talk about the love that you get from overseas compared to
it's wild, man. To go somewhere people ain't never been where you from.
Right.
You know, I'm independent, so I'm writing these songs in my house sometimes. You know, I'm conceptualizing stuff in my crib. And to see it go all over the world from my living room, it do mess me up. I'm not gonna even be bashful about it. I still haven't adjusted to that. Like, I don't know that I ever will for real, because I still wonder how the heck the music get to some of these people.
To get out there, right?
And man, you on stage and cats rapping stuff, they barely even for real speak English sometimes, but they know your stuff. Or man, I just get a lot of love, man. Not just even international, man. Even in the States, when I go to places like Boston, New York, the Bay Area, man. Oh my God, the Bay Area rock with me so hard, man. They gave me my own day in the Bay Area. You know, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? People like Davey D, DJ is legendary dude, but he full speed behind my music and my message, and interview me from the crib. He'll do interviews with me on his radio show in California. Like, I can't pay for that type of stuff. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I treat it with a real reverence. I you know, because I know how hard it is to get to the point where these people can respond to you like that. So
that's dope. That is amazing. In regards to you're seeing so many people nowadays, artists, whatever craft that they are in.
Mm-hmm.
What is your advice or thought in regards to people who say, you know what, I've done as much as I can here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to go somewhere else and give more numbers, like go to Atlanta, like go to Texas, like go to Florida, you know, whatever else, because they feel like, well, St. Louis, you know, they say they about love, but I'm not getting the notoriety I feel like I should get, so now I want to go somewhere else. What are your thoughts on that?
You're going to have to build wherever you go. You're going to have to be about community wherever you go. And these are factors that whether you're in St. Louis or Chicago or New York or San Francisco, wherever you can be, Seattle, these things exist consistently across the board as non-negotiables if you're trying to be an artist, a businessman, a businesswoman, any of that. You need community, and you're going to have to learn how to build communities, not just community. So I got my music community, I got my politics community, I got my fashion community, I got my crypto community, I got, you know, you have to determine what your interests are and build communities around your interests. A lot of people look for communities to join around their interests, which is nothing wrong with that, but that's distinctively different than a person who's trying to spearhead things. And essentially, as a person taking art, taking content, and you putting it out there in the public, and you telling us to gobble up what you putting out, we not obligated to do that. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing that can really obligate us to do that is that you built a community that we identify with and flowed into it. So if you go to Atlanta and that's not what you're gonna do, it don't matter that you went to Atlanta. If you in St. Louis and you not doing that, it don't matter everything else you do. I was talking to somebody else earlier. They were trying to figure out who they could pay to get a record service and get people to play it and I said, man, that everybody is trying to have that conversation right now. Everybody in the world trying to find somebody you could call to shave the fat to get the record booming, which to me, it's about the leg work. It's about the grind. It's about the grit. It's about the real introductions and stuff like that. And so that's what we're trying to do. Even with Fresh's record, we took a little bit more time putting that record together. And people probably said, man, when is this coming? Jesus,
Right.
When are y'all dropping this?
What's going on?
But we really take time to cook stuff on a Kanye West level. Like we really taking time to marinate it. We'll change the verse. We'll change the beat. We'll scrap the release date. We'll change the artwork. And that's even what we're doing with my album. And I know this is a long-winded answer, but I'm saying this because these are things that you can do if you live in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. This stuff you can do if you live in Iowa. Stuff you can do if you live in Nebraska. Everybody not going to be able to just say, I don't like my geography. Let me get the heck out of here. And that's one thing I did learn from them dudes in Alaska. Like they up there in the Arctic, man, and they going for it. And it's like if cats in this environment that's snow fishing, ice fishing can go for it. I had no excuse to come back home fired up. Like, man, I just learned something from these dudes, man. Because it don't matter where you at.
Speaking of music, we did talk about this, and you told a great story about K-Dot, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah, on your show, last time.
Talked about him and how you saw him before he got big.
Yeah.
And you said, man, this is different.
Some was in him.
This was before the Super Bowl that you and I talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, we know that They Not Like Us came out, and even to this day, it's still record.
Still going
crazy.
And this was almost a year ago.
Yeah,
we talked about this.
Yeah, and now to me, not saying that I was like the biggest Drake fan, but it's like to me, it's like it's nothing that he can do to recover. No matter what
he's trying, man.
He's trying, but to me, it seems like there's nothing that he can do. To recover from. First off, you want to do a try to sue, that makes you look even weaker because you try to sue the company for having the music out. Then you saw what Kendrick Lamar did for Super Bowl. When people say, "Oh, why he doing Super Bowl?" And now they can't stop talking about the impact. So, for those wondering, how come Lil Wayne didn't get it? You saw why. Because Lil Wayne can't do what Kendrick Lamar can do in regards to a presentation.
I'll tell you one thing, dog.
The show on.
I'm going to tell you real, dog. I'm in the culture war with everybody else that's in the culture war. Yeah. So when stuff like the Super Bowl happened, for me, that's a positive thing for folks like us. Because that's taking some unusual content with an unusual messaging and putting it on the biggest stage you can put it on. And it's causing people to have to interact with stuff like our stuff differently versus if the tone was different, it was more mainstream, it was more polished. The messaging to me sometimes on the other end of that stuff is forget those guys. Y'all don't need them. You can go, what is Rolling Stone talking about? What is this talking about? What is, and with stuff like Kendrick Lamar's platform and music doing what it's doing, and him kind of being the person that makes people think about stuff differently, and he's expounding no limit at the resources that he is to stand his art up, it's giving people like us a chance because the daily person is now at least once a day, hopefully, coming across something that's saying, all right, this ain't ABC stuff. This ain't this ain't that. It's putting people in a different state of mind about real stuff. And that's what we need. So I endorse that aspect of it all day. I am a Drake fan. I think Drake will make some form of a comeback. It won't be ever what it really was, I feel, in Black America. But the thing is, Drake has a Black father who helped write classic Black songs. You know what I'm saying? His daddy helped write Love and Happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't take that from the man. We can't take that from the family. Like, we love those records. We love that's our stuff. But I think what you see happening here is a clear example of these people both, they in the culture. It's just what they did with it and what they want to do with it is uniquely different. You know, one person kind of want to fulfill what I see as his like Black childhood dreams of having a positive effect on Black America. He want to make it to the barbershop wall.
Right.
You know, that ain't easy to accomplish.
So as we come to a close on part 2
Yeah.
of this wonderful conversation, what is the message that you would like to just say right now to those who are watching who may see this episode down the road? What is a message just from them, from you to them, and you can look at that camera right there and just tell everyone just how you feel.
Man, just treat yourself better, man. Be gentle with yourself. Be patient with yourself. If you got a plan, don't think of it as a microwave type of thing. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get to where you're trying to go. It takes a little bit of time for the right chips to fall in place. But just keep working, keep going, keep praying, keep fighting, keep thriving, keep living. A lot of times people in my position, we give you these deeply intellectual responses to what you're going through. And I try to show y'all what it looks like for an intellectual person to put all that to the side and to be practical and to be real and to be really in it with you. I thank the city of St. Louis from the depth of my heart for really giving me a fighting chance, because when I look at my numbers and I look at my streams and I look at the data for everything that we put out as a company, it's this city holding us down. It's this city giving us a shot to get to Alaska, to get to Egypt, to get to Puerto Rico, to get to wherever I got to go. St. Louis is giving me that shot. St. Louis is giving me that gasoline. You know, so all of my albums, all of my mixtapes have been stuff that when I look at my numbers, the STL always got my back. So I'm thankful for that. And I think that more of us as artists, more of us as people that's in the public spotlight, that's the part we got to start conveying to the general public, especially in the social media era, because a lot of times we come on here, we be so performative. We're not giving you the real version of ourselves that's even humbled to come into your house and be able to do an interview. We giving you the dressed up, woo, woo, woo. And this is an opportunity to talk real spill to y'all as a people. We need the support. Our music is already in your phone. You don't got to go to Warehouse Music to get my music. You don't got to go to Sam Goody. It's already in your phone. You just can type my name in. It's going to come up. Anything that we release, you just type it in. It's going to come up. For me, that's important to say because we in the modern world, and I'm not Master P dropping 30 albums a month, and you could look at it on the CD cover and see what's next. What's next is literally what's in your phone this week. So give it a spin, use it for your reels. We need that stuff. The bigger artists with these songs that are already trending, I'm not mad at you for doing that because we do your thing, but they already straight. They already figured out. It don't cost you nothing to throw one of our tracks in a reel, to share, to reboost, to like. That's what people like us need the most. And that's what's going to help us over the next 365, take it to an even higher level.
And take away you being a rapper, activist, take away all the great blessings that God has put on you. Who is Tef Poe?
Man, I'm just a man at this age, Smooth. I'm a flawed man. I'm a wise man, but I'm also a fool. You know what I'm saying? I do some things that can be deemed foolish sometimes. But Steve Jobs had a very powerful quote that Nipsey Hussle had repurposed. And the quote was, "Stay foolish, because foolish people change the world." Mm-hmm. It's foolish for me to think that I could be, at 12 years old, a dude who writing rhymes in his mama house and I'm gonna end up seeing all 50 states off of hip hop. I'm gonna end up going to different countries, and most of the places I travel, I ain't paid a dime because I went there through my occupation. So um, it's foolish to think that that could happen. You know, it's foolish to think that I'm gonna be able to one day call my homeboys and be like, "Hey man, just pack y'all bags. We finna go to Denver. We about to link up with Mos Def and Conway the Machine and Dead Prez, and we about to go back here and build with these guys, and you know, just let them know St. Louis in the building." You know what I'm saying? And, like, it's foolish to think that we would be the people in those positions, and we still working class people. That's the thing that I like to let people know too, because you dealing with a worker. I'm from the worker class. I'm from the get up off your butt class. I'm from the what you gonna do to make it happen class. I'm from the I might have 3 jobs, but I'm still gonna do this concert tonight class. You know what I'm saying? I'm from that class of people. So to those groups of people, I say specifically, you can do it, and the whole world relies on you, because if it wasn't no worker class, we wouldn't have a society. So I love y'all specifically because I am y'all, and I know what it's like to have to do what you got to do while you got a dream.
And with that being said, that is another edition of Smooth Conversations, where the conversations are always smooth. Thank you for being on again.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Stay tuned for many more conversations. Like I said, we may be in Paris doing this conversation. You just never know, but we're on the team to let God use us and do what's required for us to do.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much. Everyone else, once again,
make sure y'all supporting Smoooth, man. He giving Black artists, Black people in St. Louis of all cultures, the backgrounds, an opportunity to be heard. What they are doing right now has never been done, y'all. Never been done. These people got a whole radio station in our community, putting out stuff, giving us a chance to talk. And the reason I came to Smoooth is because I didn't go to nobody else, man. And I got them numbers in my phone, trust and believe. But it's been a lot of people waiting to see what I'm gonna say. We coming to my brother with it, man. We coming to that's just what it is. We not gonna moving forward. And I know I gotta stop talking. I want everybody to be aggressively supporting each other. Aggressively support each other the way you aggressively hate on each other, and watch this thing turn around.
That is so true.
What you have just experienced was brought to you by Smoooth Productions. Until next time, stay tuned and stay smooth.